We are at the best place in the world, and I got my Dunkin', so just having an excellent day so far. I got many gift cards to Barnes & Noble for my birthday. We are going to see what we can find.
I've got an internet crush. She's not a celebrity, but she's taken. So can't help falling in love. Can't take the hint and give up. My mama told me don't talk to people you haven't met. I guess my mama was right. But it's not 'cause everybody you meet is dangerous, but 'cause they'll break your heart. 'Cause she plays it so cool, making up her own rules, and I'm a loser for thinking I've got any shot in the dark. Now it's hitting me hard. Tell me, what am I supposed to do? 'Cause I've got an internet crush.
I spent a little more than planned, but it's okay. Had a gift card. It is warm in here, so we're gonna do this fast. Plus I need to go pick up my antibiotic that's ready and get back to work. So first I got Done and Dusted by Lila Sage because I've seen it everywhere, and you know what? I'm just here for a cowboy romance. I hope this is the first one. I think it is. It's so cute. I hope I love it. Then I got Thirst by Marina Yusksevic. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Gorgeous cover. I wasn't gonna get this at first, but then Lexi compared it to Women Eating, and she said she was bored, but like Women Eating was one of my favorite books ever, so had to get it. Vampire book with a gorgeous cover. Indian Burial Ground by Nick Medina. Don't know what this is about. Love this cover. Sounded spooky. I feel like I've seen it everywhere, so I had to get it. And then finally, I have had this on my wish list since it came out, and I've just been waiting for an excuse to get it. Feybound by Sarah El Arifi. Heard incredible things about this. Jan really loves it, so I am excited. I am going to be spending so much on books this week. It's indie bookstore day this Saturday, so of course I will be also buying books then. Oh, also I'm not reading or listening to anything right now on the drive home because I've just been playing on repeat The Tortured Poets Department. So I really need to get back into reading. I haven't finished a book in like a week.
She's not a celebrity, but she's taken. So can't help falling in love. Can't take the hint and give up. I've got it. Internet crush. Internet crush. Internet crush. Internet crush. But if we met somewhere else, would things be different? Or am I wasting my time? Overanalyzing everything that I never said. Why can't I make up my mind? 'Cause she plays it so.
Hello, good morning. I am getting ready for work, and I thought I could give you a little update because I did end up starting an audiobook yesterday. I went with Anne of Green Gables, Claire, by Lucy Maud Montgomery, and I'm loving it a lot. I am listening to the audiobook narrated by the actress Rachel McAdams. Love her. It's just so sweet. I am absolutely head over heels in love with Anne from the very beginning. It is just such a wholesome, sweet book. My closest comparison is like Little Women. It's very much in that same feeling of just like, Anne is too good for this world. Like, just a complete angel. I am obsessed with the way she sees the world. She's like, okay, so let me tell you what it's about. So Anne is an orphan, and we start out the story by following this older couple. I know the man is 60. I don't think it said how old the wife is, but they like mentioned she has gray hair, so like probably around that age, maybe. And you know, they don't have any kids, and doing the farm work by themselves has gotten to be a little bit difficult. So they decide that they want to adopt a little boy to help them out around the farm. They want like a 10 or 11-year-old, and their friend just adopted from this orphanage. So they send a message to her and say like, hey, go pick us out a boy, bring him back with you. That kind of stuff. So the husband of the adopting family, Matthew, goes to the train station expecting a little boy, and who is waiting there for him but Anne, a red-headed, freckled, pale, green-eyed little girl. And Matthew is like the sweetest little dumpling you've ever met. He cannot tell Anne that like it's a mistake and they don't want her. So he's like, I'm gonna bring her home to my wife, and my wife can tell her, like she can break the news to her. So funny. So right away, Anne is just so grateful to be out of the orphanage, and she just has like the most incredible outlook on life. Everything is new and exciting to her. She is just completely enthralled with all the nature and the beauty in the world, and oh my god. It is just so like refreshing to read a character that is just so in love with life. There was a point in the audiobook last night where I had to pause it and look up the quote that they just said because it just hit me so hard. So they're driving home in their little carriage from the train station, and Anne's asking Matthew like questions about nature, and his response is like, oh, I don't know, actually I don't know the answer. And she says, isn't it splendid to think of all the things there are to find out about? It just makes me feel glad to be alive. It's such an interesting world. It wouldn't be half so interesting if we knew all about everything, would it? There'd be no scope for imagination then, would there? Like, how fucking sweet. I'm going to remember that, like, forever. That is so beautiful to just think all the things we don't know yet and how exciting it is to be able to find them out. So, I was trying to finish it last night because it is a very short audiobook, but I didn't. I fell asleep, per usual. So, Anne, having grown up in an orphanage, she's never really had a best friend. So there is another young girl character named Diana who is her neighbor, and they just hit it off. They become best friends. They're like soulmates, and I love their friendship so much. I love Anne. I love how happy she is, how excited for life, how just in love with life she is. And she just right away is so excited to have a best friend, is so excited to have somebody who loves her. There is a really heartbreaking line where Diana tells her that, like, yeah, of course I love you, we're friends. And Anne's response is, I've never been loved before, because she's an orphan. Her parents died when she was very, very young. She's just been passed around. It was just so fucking sweet. I absolutely recommend this one. If you're not really a classics person, I think this one is very easy to read. It's, you know, there's not a lot of big words that are hard to understand. It's written just very accessible. Plus, it's told by Anne, who is a young girl narrator, so she does make up some words sometimes, and I love it. I love it so much. Like, this was so unexpected. And if you're like me and Little Women is one of your favorite classics of all time, very much recommend this. Or if you love this, give Little Women a try. Like, it is a chunky book. It took me a while to read it, but like, it was so worth it. That is such a heartwarming story too. Other than that, I did start physically, Poe, not the time. I will hold this. I did start physically the second book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, The Ballad of Never After. Only 3 chapters in, actually, but they're very, very short chapters. So started that last night. I will be reading more of that. My plan is to finish Anne of Green Gables early this morning, see if the Ballad of Never After... So sorry. Okay, we're just gonna hold that till I'm done. Just give me a few more minutes, Poe. I'm gonna see if the Ballad of Never After audiobook is available, maybe switch to that, but I do have the physical copy from my library. And I don't know, I just really like reading those books physically. The font is really big. Makes me feel good to read such a chunky book physically so fast. So because this is a cramming vlog and I have like 11 books left to read this month. Okay, maybe not that many, but it feels like it. Audiobooks are going to be my best friend this week because I can listen to them while I work for 8 hours a day. That's good enough. I am going to go start work, finish Anne of Green Gables, and I will check in with you probably around lunchtime when I finish it. So I'm about to finish Anne of Green Gables. I have 1 chapter left. I have 2 chapters left. And the second to last chapter, just saw the name. I don't want to continue. I want it to be over now. I'm happy. Don't do this to me. Like, how are they gonna do this? Oh, I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry. The tears are right there. All right, let's see what happens, I guess. I have finished Anne of Green Gables, and it is absolutely getting 5 stars. Oh my god, I loved it so much! Absolutely my favorite classic I've read so far this year. There is not really competition because this year the classics have not been hitting, but yeah, so wholesome, so sweet. So many emotions during this one. Okay.
What was that?
Okay. Sorry for this weird angle. I'm trying to fix the glare. I am done with work now. And I'm just feeling lazy. I just want to sit down and read physically because I haven't done that in a while. So I think I'm going to go grab The Ballad of Never After and get comfy on the couch and try not to move for the rest of the night. Good morning. I'm so sad that I have to work an entire 8 hours before I can sit down with this guy again. I am obsessed. I love it. I love it so much. Definitely in it more than I was with the first one. There is just so much Jax and Evangeline interactions and banter and loving it. They're working together in this one to find some things, break some curses. A lot like the first one. Won't go too much into details and give you spoilers, but yeah. I will say there was a scene. Yeah, so chapter 15. Don't really like the whole Evangeline saying no to something and then Jax forcing her to do it anyways. We like consent in this house, so that was a little icky. Like, yeah, it was probably for her own good, but like, let the woman make her own choices. So, now that we're past that, you know, we'll kind of see what happens. Yesterday, I read 127 pages of this, and I would have kept reading, except I fell asleep, like always. Just completely incapable of physically reading without passing out on top of my book. Would really love to finish this today to kind of stay on track with all the books I'm trying to read this week. It's a lot. It'd be about 200 something pages, almost 300 pages. So that would be a lot to read in a day. Plus we are having friends over tonight for the NFL draft. I am not interested in that at all, but you know what I am interested in? Pizza and the charcuterie board I'm planning on making and hanging out with my friends. That is all I guess I have a little bit of time. I can try to throw on the audiobook while I'm working. And I'll see you later. Ignore my hair. I know, I have a oil mask in it and I'm gonna shower soon. But, chapter 32. Blank's hands pressed harder as they went to her shoulders and one by one ripped off the sleeves of her dress so that what remained of the gown completely fell away. She made a sound somewhat between a squeal and a gasp. Was that necessary? No, but everyone should have their clothes ripped off at some point. I'm in it. Okay. That's all. Another line got me. I'm losing my goddamn mind over this book. I can't handle this. I can't handle this. I hate slow burn. It kills me. We might finally be getting something. Oh my god, I'm really gonna regret the faces I make while editing this. I also look bald. That's not better. I can't focus on anything but them. Listen, we only got this much left. Things better happen. Like, I know they kind of can't because of reasons, but I don't care about that because I know everything's gonna work out. What I want is going to happen, and then they're gonna be like, you know, if you know, you know. Okay, I can't talk anymore. I need to get back and see what happens, and yeah, okay. What? 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 I finished. I am not happy. What the fuck? What? Stephanie Garber? I'd like to have some words with you because how dare you? How dare you do that to me? Like, oh my god. Oh my god. What?
Oh, you spill lipstick in my Valentino white bag.
What are they gonna do? Also, this whole Evangeline being a little damsel in damsel in distress and just not having her own agency and everybody just like taking advantage of her, doing things against her wishes without her consent, just what the fuck? Listen, like, I'm mad for her and then I'm also mad at her. Like, girl, stand up for yourself. Just like tell people about your feelings and tell everybody else to fuck off and stop making choices for you. I'm unwell. I'm blown away. Like, I cannot believe the chokehold this book has me in. This series. I did not expect this. I need some time with my thoughts before I start anything else. So I will let you know when I am ready to do that. I'm just gonna be like staring off into space thinking about the choices that were made in this book.
I think there's another universe where I haven't yet felt pain, and maybe
living somewhere in a different life. I'm still 7 in 2nd grade, and I'm so happy that I feel alright, and that I haven't met my brain.
Hello, it has been a whole day. We haven't talked since yesterday when I finished The Ballad of Never After. Is that the last book I finished? I think so. So I have started a new book that I brought in here and then put in the most inconvenient spot. Every single time I sit down to film, he thinks, let's play with a toy, a very loud squeaky toy. Okay, Poe, I'm talking about books. I'm talking to them about books right now. Okay, if you see me being jerked around, it's because we're playing tug of war below my camera. No, stop. Your nails, honey. Your nails are so loud. I started a book. I started, excuse the lights, Whale Fall by Daniel Kraus. Love this cover. Definitely a cover pick for this one. So I have to hold it like this because the glare on these library books. You can see my entire vanity mirror. Anyways, I'm very easily distracted right now. This, borrowed from the library. It's been on my radar because, like, with a cover like that, I mean, come on. How could you not be interested in it? So yeah, I saw it on... It was like their newish releases section. I know this didn't come out too recently. This one, I'm farther than I thought actually. I'm probably like 75%. I'm on page 220 out of 318. So just under 100 pages to go. And I'm liking it. I'm not loving it. It's not the best thing I've ever read. It's not the worst. It's just kind of an okay book right now. This one is about a young man named Jay, and his father recently passed away, and they were both scuba divers. His father was super into it, and it was one of the things that the son, Jay, wasn't really into it. He was kind of forced into it because his father enjoyed it, wanted him to know how to do it, and yeah, so his father recently passed, and Jay is going out on this scuba expedition in kind of dangerous waters. We don't know why. It has something to do with his dad. So through this journey where he is alone in the cold water, he is cycling through these memories of interactions he had with his dad. His dad was really well known and really loved around the town for being this very skilled diver, and to Jay, he was not the best person. He wasn't the best father. He was pretty emotionally abusive and just kind of forced this whole diving thing onto him when he didn't really want to dive, and so he's just dealing with the sadness and grief of losing his father, but also not having a good relationship with him when he had the chance. And then we meet our whale friend, and shit goes down. I don't want to give any spoilers. I think it's pretty obvious what happens. Okay, yes, it literally says in the beginning, a scuba diver is swallowed by an 80-foot, 60-ton sperm whale and has only 1 hour to escape before his oxygen runs out in this grappling, moving, and scientifically accurate novel. Oh yeah, totally scientifically accurate. All those scuba divers that have been swallowed by sperm whales. But no, the diving is accurate. At least I think so. I am not a diver. I don't know anything about it. But everything they're saying sounds like they know what they're saying. Learning a lot about, all that stuff. Like, I don't know. I mean, obviously I realized, like, going down deep into the ocean is a big deal. I guess I didn't realize how big of a deal. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. The cold water and needing air, the pressure down when you get deep. So yeah, learning some things. And then there's the whale. With this one, I am really cycling between, this is very, very effective, claustrophobic, has me on the edge of my seat. Like, I am anxious. I am panicking for this person. I feel like I'm in his shoes, and this is silly, goofy, there's no way this could happen, that kind of stuff. So I don't know, like, I guess I just need to suspend my disbelief because it is a book about a guy being swallowed by a whale, and I'm assuming he makes it out. I don't know. Is that a spoiler to assume that? Like, I always just do. I don't think horror books, like, you know, ever go there. My battery's flashing, so let's wrap this up. So yeah, my plan is to wash my face, get into some pajamas, relax, and try and finish this guy. So I will see you in a little. Hello, happy Sunday. I have some updates. I did end up finishing Whalefall, and I guess let's start with the good things first. The claustrophobic horror was really, really good and effective. As somebody who gets very anxious thinking about being in enclosed spaces, I was feeling some things while reading / listening to this. You know, the scenes where he's swallowed and he's going down the esophagus and he can't move his arms and they're like pinned and all that. Very well done. All of the diving information, like I said last night, seems very scientifically accurate. I wouldn't know either way, but it sort of reminds me of like The Martian by Andy Weir, that like it's very science heavy, and I don't know if anything he was saying or talking about was accurate and true. I was just kind of along for the ride, going with the vibes. And then I guess the bad parts, it was so goofy. Like, yes, the diving part was scientifically accurate, but like, this man gets eaten by a whale. So like, I understand, like, knowing that's what it's about going in, you have to suspend your disbelief, but like you're telling me all this happened inside of a whale. So there's that. And then the pacing, the ending of this book lasted 2 whole years. Like, it was never ending. Like, this man, it's supposed to be like, you know, a race against time because he's running out of air. And there was just like no sense of urgency. It's like he was taking naps, like, and then when we got to sort of the actiony parts at the end, like, they were just still so long and drawn out. I think this one is gonna sit at a 3-star. Not the worst thing I've ever read. Definitely not the best. It was fine. It had the positive and the negatives, and you know, it's a book that I read. I liked the underwater horror aspect. I could definitely be into reading more of that. That's something that just absolutely terrifies me, is the ocean and like whales and other big marine animal, fish, that kind of stuff. I could never go diving. Like, not even being afraid of being eaten by one, just like seeing one and how big they are and like being in their territory, like, that's so scary. So I could see myself picking up more underwater horror type things. If anybody has any suggestions, please let me know. And then moving on to today, it's Sunday, so it is big, deep clean the house day, especially because I have had like 2 super, super busy weeks and this place is a mess. So I am very happy to say, even though it is now 7 p.m., it's done. It looks nice in here. But while I've been cleaning, I decided to start Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. Can't with this book. I keep having to stop what I'm doing because I'm giggling and kicking my feet so hard. There is just a huge smile on my face, like, as I'm cleaning my bathroom. I'm living for this book. I've been listening to the audio, like I said. I'm 3 hours in, 30% on chapter 12. It's an 11-hour audiobook, so like, well, I would love to finish this today and get another book read because we are in cramming mode. It's, you know, about to be the end of the month and we need to finish some books. I'll be happy if I can finish it tomorrow. I'm already loving it so far. So in this one is sort of the sequel to A Part of Your World, but like not really. It doesn't follow the couple from A Part of Your World. It follows one of their friends. So you don't have to read that one, but just like all of the romance series that do that, you'll be more familiar with the characters if you do. So this one follows 2 doctors The woman's name is Brianna and the man's name is Jacob. And Brianna works at the same hospital that Alexis did in the first book. So she was one of Alexis's friends. And Jacob is a new doctor there. And his first day is just a disaster. He just makes a really bad first impression on all of the nurses, all of the doctors, like all of the patients he sees that day dies, like no fault of his own. They just all do not make it. He's like accidentally super rude to one of the nurses. He breaks Brianna's phone by accident. So yeah, he is just not having a good time. So right away, Brianna thinks he is a huge jerk and just like vows that they're not going to be friends. She's going to avoid him. She's not going to talk to him. And then it is dual perspective. So we also get chapters from Jacob and we learn that he is actually the sweetest little cupcake and he has really terrible anxiety and that's why he is making a bad first impression. It's not his fault. It's just the way his brain works and the way that things happen to him. And as somebody who is very anxious, this is such a good rep. Like everything he is talking about, the overthinking, the like not even realizing that you're not getting the social cues and making bad impressions and like saying dumb stuff and then like thinking about it nonstop after is so me. And like Jacob is fully aware of his problem and is like in therapy for it, on medication. He knows like coping mechanisms and all that. And like, let me just say, what a man to like recognize you have a problem and then like be working on yourself. So after a few days go by, Brianna ends up just talking to some of the other doctors, nurses, people Jacob knew before transferring to this hospital. And like every single person she talks to is like, he is such a good guy. He is the best guy I know. Like give him a chance, blah, blah, blah. So Jacob ends up writing Brianna an apology note for breaking her phone and all that. And they start writing letters to each other, which is where the yours truly comes in. And just, I don't know, something about characters communicating through letters I love so much. Neither of them want to be in a relationship at this point. They both actually just got out of pretty messy relationships. So they're just trying to be friends at this point and get to know each other. And like still, even though they're not being like overtly flirty towards each other, like I'm still giggling, kicking my feet, loving it, having the time of my life. So yeah, so excited to keep reading this one. My plan is to listen to this and go work on my May bullet journal. So I will talk to you when I have some more thoughts. So I just finished, literally listened to it all in one sitting. I did not pause the audiobook since talking to you last, and I'm upset. I was loving it up until probably the 80% mark. I was telling my partner this was going to be my favorite book of the year. I loved it so much more than A Part of Your World. Like, the romance is probably one of my favorites that I have ever read. I love the anxiety rep. I just love Jacob so much. And then something happened at the end. The entire book, Brianna had said that she didn't want this thing. She made it very clear to Jacob. She made it very clear to everybody that this isn't something she wanted in life. She wasn't interested in it, all that. And then it did the romance thing that happens way too often, where we get to the end of the book and surprise, she changed her mind. She actually did want it. And I'm so sick of that. I don't want to give it away because it's a big spoiler. But just, you know, as somebody who doesn't want that, has no interest in that, to see it in books all the time where you think a main character feels that way and then just changes their mind by the end, it really, like, it just makes it feel like the author is, like, invalidating women who feel this way. You know, like she's saying, we're going to change our minds eventually. Like, we don't really mean that we don't want this thing. And, like, the fact that I've been told this so many times in my life and, surprise, still haven't changed my mind, not going to change my mind because I know what I want. Yeah, to just constantly see it in romance books. I'm just over it. I'm so sick of it. I'm still gonna give it 4 stars because, like I said, I Loved absolutely every single thing about this book except for that. I don't have anything else to say about it. I'm annoyed right now. If I could just like rip off the last 20% of the book, we'd be good. Yeah, so I'm gonna go to bed and I will talk to you tomorrow morning where we will pick another book. I think I'm down to 2 more on my TBR for the month, so we're getting there. Hello, good morning. Please ignore my messy bed behind me. You didn't see that. Don't look. Oh, Poe's coming to join us. Hello, Poe. Hello. Hello, good morning. It's Monday, so time to start a new book, which I did already start the audiobook for Pack Up the Moon by Kristen Higgins. So I wanted to give you an update before I got too much farther in. I am 8% in. I'm listening to this audiobook on Hoopla, so I'm not totally sure. What chapter am I in? Okay, I guess it'll be a mystery. I do have the physical book, so I can always check. I do plan on switching to physical once I am done working, but, you know, we are on a time crunch. We need to get things read this month, so we're doing the audio while I work. I'm not in my normal spot in the office because my partner is also working from home today, and we share our office space. I mean, you guys know, you see his desk in the background, and he's not cool with being on camera, which I respect. So we're just gonna do our little update in here. And then, yeah. Okay, so this book is about a man whose wife has died. It was kind of a really fast disease. She had something wrong with her lungs. And so far in the book, we've just been dealing with the aftermath of that. It's been really, really sad and heartbreaking dealing with the funeral and his memories of her and just kind of coping after the first 30 days of her being gone. I have teared up 4 times. No tears have actually rolled down my face, spilled out of my eyes yet, but we're very, very close. You know, there was a scene about how he was at the funeral and he kept like watching the door, waiting for her to walk in, looking for her in the crowd, like just, you know, the stuff you do when you're with a person for so long and so comfortable with them and they're there for everything and then suddenly they're not and you're still just so used to them being there and expecting them to show up. Oh my goodness. It's like he knows I'm in my feelings right now. And then when he got home, their dog like kept staring at the door waiting for her to come home. So we are about to hit, he has just been handed the first letter. She gave the letters to her friend and said, you know, 1 month after I'm gone, give him this letter. I think 2 months after I'm gone, this letter. I know it's like set up like that on a specific time schedule to help him move on and deal with losing her. And yeah, I am fully expecting to start crying and not stop for the rest of this book. I did this to myself. I wanted a book to make me cry. I need to like talk down here so you can see Poe. I did want a book to make me cry, and then I held off all month because I just wasn't ready for it, and now we're to the last 2 days of the month, so I have to be ready for it, and yeah, that's what we're doing. Starting my Monday morning off crying. It feels so good sometimes to cry at books, like you just get all your feelings out, but yeah, this one for sure, I know it's gonna get me. Anything to do with like losing a spouse hits me so hard. It makes me so sad. I'm just imagining all the scenarios of if this was me and I lost my partner and then I'm getting sad about that. We're gonna try not to spiral here. We're gonna keep it to sadness at the book and what's happening to these fictional characters and not me in real life. Okay, so I think it will be fun if I do like a cry count and update you every time I cry. That is the plan. I'm going to go get back to work and get back to listening, and I will talk to you the first time I cry, I guess. The first tears have fallen. Page 60. The first letter, like I knew they would. That is all. I am 68% of the way into the audiobook, and with it being the last day of April, we are finishing this today before I fall asleep, no matter what. So yeah, I am in for a night. I'm expecting it to get bad. Like, this middle section, since I last talked to you, hasn't been too bad. There's been sad parts, and you know, the letters every month. So there are definitely sad moments, but like there's a lot of humor mixed throughout. And just like the wife who passed away, Lauren, she is just so incredible. And Lauren's letters that she wrote to Josh, like, they're not sad letters. There's definitely some parts that, like, you know, make me feel things. But for the most part, they really are funny and just helping him move on. Like, one of the letters was to go grocery shopping because, like, you probably have no fresh food in the house and you haven't been eating good. Go get new clothes, get new furniture, move on. And, like, just really sweet, like, that she thought of all these things to, like, help him cope with losing her, like, to still be there for him during this really difficult time. And so, like, there definitely are moments where, like, I'm feeling things, but I'm holding it together for the most part. And, like, just, they are literally, like, the perfect couple. I love Lauren so much. The main guy, Josh, he has, like, anger issues that I'm not loving. I really hope he addresses them by the end of the book and gets some help, because right now it's a little scary. But yeah, I have some editing to do, so I am going to listen to more of this while I make a thumbnail and export my video. And then I'll have dinner to make where I can listen, and then after dinner I can sit down with a physical book and hopefully finish it up. So yeah, I will see you later. Finished. Definitely should have washed my makeup off before. I'll give you my thoughts tomorrow. Good night. Hello again. I am looking and feeling much better. I am actually on my way to go out with some friends. So we've got to make this quick, but I realized I never wrapped up Pack Up the Moon or my week for you. So let's talk about everything we were able to accomplish. So first up this week, we read Anne of Green Gables. You guys know, 5 stars. I loved it so much. Definitely one of a new favorite classics of all time. I will endlessly recommend this one as like a cozy, easy to read classic. After that, we read The Ballad of Never After. I am still mad at Miss Stephanie Garber, and I have not picked up the 3rd one yet because honestly, I am nervous. I don't know what's about to happen. After that, we read Whale Fall, which was a silly, goofy time. Overall, not mad that I read it. It was just a book. And then, this one. Yours truly. I'm still, focus. I'm still so sad about this one. Yeah, yours truly, 5 stars to the first 80% of the book, 1 star to the last 20%. I'm just so over that trope. And then the star of the show, the book that has probably made me cry the most in my entire life, and that's saying a lot because I read A Little Life. Pack Up the Moon by Kristen Higgins. So I ended up deciding on a 4-star rating for this one. you know, it was effective in what it was trying to do. It was a really sad yet heartwarming story. Like, there was still a happy ending. It was a romance. And overall, I loved the plot, loved the characters. The writing just didn't feel like a 5-star. Like, some moments, mainly like the side characters, were just written in such a weird way. So yeah, definitely not the best writing I've ever read, but I am excited to pick up more by her. Yeah, so 5 books in a little over a week. That is pretty good in my opinion. And I almost finished my April TBR. I was this close. I forgot 1 book. It was my nonfiction pick though, and I just wasn't in a nonfiction mood. So it's getting pushed over to my May TBR, and I'm still looking forward to reading it, just when I'm in the mood for nonfiction. You made it to this point in the video, you can just leave me a moon emoji for Pack Up the Moon. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you read a good book today, and I will see you soon in my next one. Bye.